For a Christmas as magical as your first. This is the tagline used by John Lewis in their Christmas advert offering this year. This ad, entitled Unexpected Guest, features a young boy, Nathan, and a space traveller, Sky. Nathan discovers Sky in the woods next to his home and introduces her to many of his family's favourite festive traditions. Through fairy lights, mince pies and a musical Christmas jumper, Nathan shows the unique and special joy of the festive season. As we grow up and experience another 25th of December, we can gradually begin to lose the magic of Christmas. In a flash, it seems we are back round again to eating mountains of mince pies, wrapping endless presents, and singing countless carols. But this Christmas, why don't we rekindle not the magic of our first Christmas, but the magic of the first Christmas? Today, as we celebrate the very first Christmas, we retell the story not of a traveller arriving on Earth from space, but the story of God arriving on earth from heaven. We could say that baby Jesus, born in Bethlehem, was an unexpected guest, and in some ways he was. But he was both unexpected and expected, a guest and a landlord. The people of God had been waiting centuries for a saviour. They believed that someone was coming to set them free. The arrival of the Messiah, the Anointed One, the Christ, had been predicted, and now he was here. The waiting, anticipation and expectation was over. The Saviour was here, but he was not here in the way people were expecting. The Saviour was not a strong, mighty warrior coming to lord it over everyone. This Saviour was a weak, vulnerable baby, born to a young mother, entering this world like any other child. This Saviour was not born in a palace amongst royalty and rulers. This Saviour was born in a back street in Bethlehem. This Saviour was Jesus. The expectations of God's people were met unexpectedly. The Word became flesh and blood and moved into the neighbourhood. That's what we read in John 1 verse 14. God chose to come to our home from heaven and move in with us. He came to experience life with us. He came to experience life's highest joys and deepest sorrows. We could say he came as a guest from heaven to earth. But of course, God himself, the creator of all life, isn't really a guest on the planet he created. He formed us and spoke us into being. This is his earth. We are his people. And that is why he came both as an unexpected guest and an expected landlord, from heaven to earth, so that we could know that we are his people and this is his earth. That very first Christmas wasn't magical in the sense of sparkling lights and Santa's sleigh soaring through the sky. That very first Christmas was magical because the God of heaven entered our home to live amongst our brokenness and darkness, to bring us wholeness and light. The very first Christmas was magical because of love. Love in the form of a baby. Love in the person of Jesus. Love in the heart of God. But this baby did not stay small, vulnerable and cute. They never do. This baby grew into a boy and into a man. In the John Lewis advert, we see Nathan teaching Skye the ways of earth and how to live here. In the Bible, we see Jesus, as a boy and a man, teaching us the ways of heaven and how to live on earth as it is in heaven. Jesus lived and loved in a way which reflected the very character and nature of God. The ways of heaven and the one who created us were fully realised in the person of Jesus. And he spoke to us and said, "Love each other deeply, as much as I have loved you." That is the magic of the first Christmas. As the babe of Bethlehem laid wrapped in swaddling clothes, God wrapped his arms of love around us. And he calls us in response to wrap our arms of love around others. As Nathan welcomes Skye as an unexpected guest, how can we welcome the unexpected guest this Christmas time? In the most magical gesture of a gracious, compassionate, loving God, we see love come alive on earth for us in a manger in Bethlehem. That first Christmas, we see a king step down from his throne. We see a Lord abandon his home. We see the greatest of all become the least of all. And we see a Father give us his Son. And we see all this because God so loved the world that he gave us his Son, his one and only Son, so that we can have a full and everlasting life. I pray that this Christmas you will know the magic of Christmas. Yes, the sparkling lights, tempting aromas and surprising gifts. But above all, the wonder of God in heaven coming down to earth for you. Happy Christmas.